Joni, Texas game, a lot of buzz around it. I think when you revealed to film, your team probably did a lot of good things. Now going on the road, how do you create your own energy, so to speak? Because last time on the road, it appeared that wasn't the case.
It wasn't at all. I think that if you look at the Arkansas game, I believe we let not making shots affect how we played defense. We didn't make a ton of shots out here Sunday either, and we still continued to play. So I think we got that corrected. I would be very shocked and disappointed if we didn't come out and create good energy. You look at our standings, you look at the standings of the people in the league, and we're right in the middle of it with Auburn, with the teams that we have to play this week, and with some other teams that are playing too. And so we still have an opportunity to go out and get better and to be competitive and win some games. And so we'll see them here in a second and start working on film for them. I think what's important to know about Auburn is they play really, really well at home, and they are as good, if not better defensively than a lot of teams that we've played. They're aggressive. They have the ability to deny you from all five spots. And so we've got to be ready again to handle pressure, to box out, and to defend some really elite players that they have.
Where do you feel like you are a couple games in, as far as figuring out what kind of lineups and matchups you want, knowing that you're not going to have AC?
Yeah, I think it's different from game to game. We'll probably have a different lineup Thursday than we had Sunday than we had the last Thursday, just because, AC is a Swiss Army knife. And so between her and Sahara, you can move them around and do some different things. And now we are more limited in our ability to do that. And so we are looking at our opponents and trying to figure out defensively what's the best matchup, offensively what's the best matchup. And, we'll obviously pick our starters accordingly based on that.
You talked about a lot of players stepping up and filling that role that AC brought. Is there anybody in particular that you've seen really make an effort in that?
I think they all are trying. I don't like the word trying, and so we've got to stop trying and do. I think Lauren has stepped up. I think Janae stepped up on Sunday. I think Sahara plays her heart out every single time she steps on the floor. We've got to make sure that we get Talia going. She's someone who can score for us offensively. She's someone who can score different ways and is a pretty good defender. I think the game Sunday, she came to the bench at one point and said, she goes, "They're denying me every time I cut." Yes, ma'am. And guess what? So will Auburn. And so we've got to get her to simulate that better in practice, and so she can be better prepared for Thursday's game.
And what has been, Sahara just hasn't scored as much recently
Yeah.
as she did before. And you mentioned Parker, which I was going to ask about. That's good. But Kent's been well the last
Yeah.
couple games. So, and I know you're looking for more consistency. So what does Sahara have to do, and what does Kent have to continue to do back to 2 games she's had?
I think Kit's got to be aggressive. Janae sometimes can not be aggressive enough. I think she second guesses her shots sometimes instead of just going with the natural flow of what it is we're doing. And I didn't see that Sunday. I thought she was ready to catch and shoot. She came off of screens with her feet set down, aggressive. I think she's got to continue to be aggressive in that way and be ready. In terms of Sahara, she had some really good looks at the rim. She had some really good jumpers. She's got to not rush. I think Sahara puts a ton of pressure on herself to fill in some of the things that AC did. Sahara wants to be a really, really good player. She works really hard at that. And I think sometimes she just, maybe puts a lot of pressure on her. She needs to just relax and continue to trust that if she's taking the right shots, then they're gonna go in the hole at some point. For us and for her, it's continuing to take the right shots and not starting to feel pressed and then take some shots that maybe aren't the best shots to take.
Now, what about, it seems like Auburn, Gaston has a big game.
Yeah.
If anybody has a big game, they seem to win, but you pride yourself on defense. So how do you handle Auburn, particularly Gaston?
Yeah, she's a great player. Man, she had 30 on South Carolina. So anybody who scores like that on South Carolina, it gets your attention immediately. And she's had several 20-plus, 30-plus games this year. So she's someone who plays the 4 and the 5. She can post you. She's got a soft touch. She's got great hands. She can drive you. We've got to stay in front of her. We've got to make sure that we don't let her have anything easy. She's a player who can score tough baskets. And so when she scores a tough basket, we need to pat her on the butt and go down on the offensive end. But she can't have anything easy. And so it's easier said than done with her, but we're going to have to make sure that she's constantly crowded. We've also got to have good ball pressure so the ball can't find her. But Auburn goes as she goes.
What about, okay, go ahead.
How important, obviously you want to win them all, but how important is it to get one at Auburn just as far as morale, like team morale, and then also just getting back in the win column and taking one on the road?
Well, for all those things, but it's the next one on our schedule, so that's why it's important. We need to win a road game. Again, if you look at the standings, we're right there next to each other, so this could be a separator or not based on what that looks like. And we're at a point in our season and in our schedule that's the conversations we're having. We'll put standings on the board and we'll make sure they have an understanding of where we are versus everybody else and who we're playing, who they're playing, if we've played them or not, and what does that look like. And so all those things are, and like we tell them, that's not pressure. That is what it is where we are, and we need to know that walking into every game we play.
You've lost a player, Auburn gained a freshman,
Yeah.
who's playing some. What does she bring to them?
Yeah, she stretches the floor for them. She's an elite shooter from what I've seen in the a limited amount of film that I have. She shoots it quick. She looks like she has range. They find her. And so more than anything, she just stretches them offensively, and you have to make sure that you're, not allowing her to get any easy shots because she has the ability to shoot it really well from what it looks like.
Talk about Gaston not letting her get to her, getting the easy stuff. Well, I guess last time you were on the road, what'd you learn from Arkansas and trying to defend Higginbottom? I mean,
Yeah.
you look at what happened there as kind of a learning, a lesson heading into Auburn.
I think the lesson for that is don't allow what's happening offensively to affect what you're doing defensively. And I think, listen, we've got to play Arkansas again. Hickenbottom she averages 36 points in their wins and 26 in their losses, so she's a walking bucket. I didn't think that we were locked in and intentional about what we were doing defensively in terms of guarding her and the scouting report we had in place. And I think it all had to do with how we played on the offensive end.
You expect Hunter back, and what's AC's, when she might have surgery, and what about her recovery time?
Yeah. I don't know about Hunter. We'll find out today just kind of where she is in her progression to play. So I truly don't know. AC has surgery tomorrow. And then she'll start her rehab and projection for her. Obviously, she will be out the rest of this year. You're looking at 6 to 8 months probably for her.
Hunter's still concussion, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah.
And they've got like a pretty young backcourt as well.
Yeah.
And this is probably going to be a year you'd like to see them just take strides, even with a healthy team. Has that sort of process changed at all with AC, or is that sort of maybe falling more on the wings, and what you're asking of them isn't necessarily that much different than what it had been?
No, I think everybody has to take on more. I think when you look at Talia Young, Erica Young, Soleil, first time at the position, Kendall hadn't played in 2 years. I think these games are, it puts more on them because you don't have AC for a pressure release. And so, yes, we still need them to be able to handle it. We need for them to be able to identify defensively what it is that the other team is in and get us into our offense. And so that's something that we are helping them do from the sidelines. Lauren's helping them do, but that's where they need to continue to grow. And I'm not going to say it has exposed them. It has exposed our entire team. But when you have AC there, right, it takes a little bit of pressure off of them. And so now it's just a constant learning, teaching, showing it to them, and helping them along in that way.
Alrighty, thanks again.
Thank you.